bộ một sáng không?
Hả?
Bộ một sáng.
Not Chafe. Chafe. We haven't got Ted up yet. Wayne, Ted, and Jack enjoy the game.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Badger Stadium. It's Game 2, the All-Newfoundland Provincial Hurdle Memorial Championships. I'm Ted Patey, along with Jack Stuckless, who will be doing color commentary for you today. And as we mentioned, it's Game 2, Jack, and after the big loss by the Bombers last night, it's a must game today for Badger going into Southern Shore next weekend.
Yes, Ted, they can't afford to go to Southern Shore down 2 games. It will really be all over. So this game today is big. They've changed their goaltender. They put in Kennedy, so we'll see what happens today.
Yeah, a big change for the Bombers. Dave Kennedy in the nets in place of Mark Hurley. The game is on their way, and first of all, we'd like to welcome all you viewers out there in the community of Badger for our second telecast. Now here's Andy Sullivan. There's a shot, and that was fanned on by Steve Scott. Sutton along the boards, couldn't get it out, picks up the loose puck, makes his way up the center ice. There goes Sutton in over the line. He loses it in the corner. Shoots it back behind the net. The Bomber player, Scotty Stock, is taken out, and they'll freeze it along the boards, Jack, and we'll have our first face-off. And the Bombers and the Southern Shore Breakers, Game 2.
Yes, Ted, it's very important that Badger get the first goal in today's game. They've played now 3 games against Southern Shore, and up to now they have not had the lead in this series. So we'd like to see what Southern Shore would do if they were behind in the game.
Well, Badger's been outshot 19 goals to 3. They lost 4-2, they lost 7-1 and 8-1 last night. So a must game for the Bombers today. There's a shot by George Penny. Oh, and a big save by Dennis Lake, and we have our first pile-up to the side of the net between the Bombers and the Breakers. And number 19, Sean Levine, was in that pile-up, Jack, and we had the first big save of the game by Dennis Lake.
Yes, Ted, the initial shot never got through, what the second shot did. And I think that Oates has called a penalty against Southern Shore on that play. Cross-checking penalty, I believe.
All the Badger Bombers will go on their first power play. We've only played 41 seconds in the first period, and now it's a chance for the Bombers to get a big goal here and try to keep the score close and win this one going into Mobile next weekend. George Penny, Juan Strickland back on the point for Badger, and those are the big shots they need from those 2 big D. Up front they have Corey Power, Sean Levine, and Scotty Bishop. And George Penny back on the point today. He was up front last night. Maybe he's just for the power play. Now George Penny. Penny over to Scotty Bishop. Bishop in the corner, trying to find an open man out in front. Takes it around the net. Comes to the other side. Back here to Levine. And there's a shot by Penny. And that was stopped in front. Another one shot to the side. Back into Corey Power. Makes a nice move. Coming out, trying to set up in front of the slot for that open man. Now there's Juan Strickland. There's a shot, and that was knocked down in front. And we have one of the Bomber players who blocked that shot. He got hit by that shot, and he's down, Jack. I think it's Sean Levine, number 19. We'll wait and see. But a big shot.
Sean Levine, I believe, blocked that shot, number 19. I thought first it was Southern Shore because, again, today, those uniforms, except for the white in the middle, are the same colors. And it makes it a bit difficult sometimes.
It does, and that was a rifle shot from the stick of Juan Strickland. Sean Levine was set up in front of the net for the deflection, and it hit him instead of his stick. He's getting up very slowly, but he looks okay. He's okay.
You see Harry Foley, Ted, always here, always there to every game that's been played in this stadium, I think, since it's been here, really. Harry Foley and St. John Lamless have certainly done a wonderful job.
Okay, the Bombers will make a change. Big Robbie Penny on defense along with Brian Gushy. And we'll have Craig Tuck, Paul Levine on defense with Penny. Craig Tuck, Brian Gushy. Tuck takes the face off. Back to Levine. Over to Rob Penny. Penny. Back here to Gushy. Gushy. Fanned on the shot. And Steve Scott just throws it out the center. Now Tuck. Tuck gets over the blue line. There's a shot! And Lake got his glove on that one. A big shot from Brian Gushy. And another save by Lake. Now Steve Scott. This is the player the Bombers had to stop when he set up his own end. Now Rob Penny. behind his own net, leaves it there for Craig Tuck. Tuck up to his own blue line. That's intercepted by Barry Sullivan, but Robbie Penny picks up the loose puck and just shoots it up to the other side to number 10. Dennis Briffett shoots it in the corner. There's Penny with a shot in front, and that's deflected all the way back to center. Now Levine up to Gushy. He failed to pick up the pass. Scott over to the other side. They'll pass that puck around, try to kill off this penalty. And we have another penalty.
I didn't exactly see this one, but I got a feeling it's going to go against Badger, according to the fans from Southern Shore. And it is. I think Billy Armstrong is in the box.
Billy Armstrong, looks like 2 minutes for elbowing. And now the Southern Shore Breakers will go on their first power play.
Well, they never got the fast start, Southern Shore, this game that they get in the previous game. Last night it was 41 seconds when he took the lead. Now we've played 2 minutes and 29 seconds in this one.
And Dave Kennedy has yet to make his first big save. Now George Penny.
2 minutes for roughing. Final penalty, 2 minutes and 29 seconds.
Billy Armstrong, Jack, 2 minutes for roughing at 2:29.
So they'll play four side now, Ted, for the next few seconds until then Southern Shore will have the power play.
And the linesman for the J, Chris Flight, Bruce Pinkston, and referee Ed Oates all the way from Stephenville. The face-off will take place to the right of Dave Kennedy. As both teams line up, Craig Tuck will take the face-off against Scott Sullivan. Sullivan wins the draw. Back over to George Penny. Takes around behind his own net, leaves it for Sutton. Sutton, killing off this penalty, shoots it all the way down in the Breakers' territory. As the Breakers will now set up. There's a pass up to Scott Sullivan on the left side, all the way over here to Brent Sullivan, and we have a two-line pass.
It's offside on the way in, Ted, number 23. Number 23, Brent Sullivan was offside, coming in over the blue line. And they haven't got into the flow of this game yet. There's a lot of whistles in the early going. A couple of penalties being called, but once they settle down and start to play hockey, I'm sure we'll see a little better.
3 minutes gone the first period. Kennedy has yet to be tested. On the face-off, Scott all the way over to the other side. Back to Scott. Scott couldn't get around Corey Power. Now it's Scott Sullivan. Makes a nice move at center up to Brent Sullivan. Over to Billy Windsor. Windsor watched there by George Penny. Out in front, stopped there by Juan Strickland. And is shot back again out to center, and another penalty, Jack.
No, Ted, I think that was knocked down with a high stick. He called that a high stick when he knocked it down out near the center line, and he called it back for a face-off outside the blue line. The linesman didn't call it, and the referee called it for a high stick.
On the draw, Steve Scott at center. Shoots it off the glass all around behind Kennedy. Strickland. That's that going over the glass, and we'll have another face-off.
This face-off will be outside the line. Was tipped by the Southern Shore into the crowd. Nobody got hurt, fortunately.
Well, Jack, we have a break in the action here now. We like to say hello to all our viewers out in the community of Badger, people who couldn't make it today, our sick, our shut-ins, and our senior citizens, and a big hello to them all. I'm sure George and Mame Loader, Percy and Betty Penny, I'm sure Bet is very excited today watching that, and Percy, watching their two sons. I think Percy might have a little case of the blue today, so he never made it. So, Percy, pull up your feet, enjoy yourself. Out across to the other side, Paul Levine, taken it on the glass by Colbert as he shoots it all the way down. As the Bombers kill off his penalty very nicely. Out of Breakers set up. Here's Scott, the ever dangerous Scott. It over the blue line and offside once again.
I'd just like to say hello to girl Carol 902. I'm sure Carol's enjoying this.
Well, we forgot Garl Caird last night. I mean, Garl, a one-time Bomber fan, played a lot of hockey. As a matter of fact, he played with us 1 year, Jack, and I think he had one goal.
I'm sure Garl remembers all the chips he made.
Off the face-off, the Bombers, Craig Tuck wins the draw, shoots it over the Breakers' blue line. He'll make a change. And Darrell Walsh. Walsh makes his way up to the other side. Scott Sullivan, he turns on the Jets. That was just wide of Kennedy. Back to the other side, shot back in, Billy Windsor. Windsor over on this side, back to Brent Sullivan. He missed the pass, Scott Sullivan. Windsor had a lovely chance that time, just failed to tuck it home. Now Brent Sullivan, watched there by Paul Levine. Wade Sutton picks up the loose puck and off to Billy Armstrong. Armstrong, a pass out to center ice. Sutton failed to pick that up. And is back in behind Kennedy, and he'll hold it for another face-off. Jack, I understand we saw some great community spirit in the town of Badger this week.
Yes, Ted, we did. I was hoping to get a longer break so we could talk a little more about it. We all know about Mrs. Penny, Phyllis Penny, being very sick in the hospital, and her sons and daughter had been down about a month and a half ago to their father's funeral. And we've been trying to get the rest of the family down to see Phyllis. And with the great response we've had from the town of Badger, and on behalf of the Penny family, I would sincerely like to thank everybody that gave to this cause. And I'd like to say now that we have enough from people like Matt Stuckless, who donated some points to bring one person down, and the money we collected to bring that down, I think we got enough to bring everybody down. So again, I'd like to thank the people of Badger that give, and they always give in times like this, Ted.
And like you say, Jack, if we get all the children down with God's will, maybe there'll be a recovery also.
We certainly hope so, Ted.
All back to the game, number 11, Loyola O'Driscoll. Brings the puck up to the blue line. In behind Dave Kennedy, Strickland. Off the boards, over to Paul Pittman, back to Strickland. Strickland, makes a nice move to get around Chris O'Keefe. Up the center, and that pass just intercepted. Wade Sutton would have been in the clear. Al Strickland. We're seeing a much better hockey game here today. As you know, last night the Breakers were on the score sheet with less than a minute, and the Bombers playing well on defense today. Puck shot off the glass, over to the other side. Barry Sullivan fights with his man along the board. The Bombers come up with the puck. Corey Power, the speedy player, up over the line. There's a shot, and that was deflected wide. To the other side of the net, Andy Sullivan off the boards and all the way back in Badger territory. That's Corey Hemian now on the point for the Bombers. Power makes his way up the center into Scotty Bishop. Bishop shoots it in the corner. And number 4, Steve O'Brien. There's a shot. A loose puck picked up by the Bombers, and they just missed the open side. Robbie Penny intercepts that pass at his own blue line. Shot off the boards. Colbert to the other side. Sean Levine up the Tuck in over the Breakers' blue line for Briffett. Briffett just failed to get through. There's a weak shot in behind Dennis Lake. Back up to Barry Sullivan. Sullivan all the way up the center. And there's Kennedy's first save, a long shot from center ice. And a stick save, just steering it to the corner. Now Scott, a long shot. And Kennedy makes the save on that one. Sullivan into Brent Sullivan. There's a shot, and he fanned down that one. Now Gushy picks up the loose puck over the glass. 12 minutes, 35 seconds left, and it's no score.
Yes, Ted, it took almost 8 minutes for Southern Shore to get their first shot on goal to test out the new goaltender there, Kennedy, and he came up with a couple of saves there on that sequence of play. But they were long shots. They weren't quality shots yet, so they were from the blue line.
And Jack, still a big crowd here today for this game. They're 2 and 3 deep in the end zone. All the stands are filled and all down the line side. There might be a little less crowd than last night, but not very much. From the face-off, oh, a glove save by Dave Kennedy.
There's a quality save, Ted, right there. That was a quality save. He's first of the game. Third shot, I believe, in his first quality save.
Right off.
Looking around, yes, Ted, I don't think the crowd is so big as we had yesterday, but this is Sunday, too. Usually don't get as many out on a Sunday as you do on Friday and Saturday.
A big save off the stick of Steve Scott. Tough. Loses the draw to Billy Windsor. Back to Scott. That was wide. And Sutton, makes a nice move to get up the center. He's in over the blue line. That shot is deflected up in the end blues. 12 minutes, 19 seconds, no score.
Ted, we don't have Fred Kerr today doing the announcements, so Fred is usually always here, usually reliable.
Well, Fred had his work cut out last night. Maybe he's thrown a sore today.
I think he's on work detail today, Ted.
On the draw, O'Driscoll over to the other side. Up here to O'Keefe. O'Keefe back to Loyola O'Driscoll. He's taken out by Rob Penny. And number 34, Darrell Costello. Just brings it to the side of the net. Now Robbie Penny and O'Driscoll. They get their gloves up at each other.
I think we can look for something here, Ted, a little later. I don't think Robbie's going to take that one.
Robbie took a glove in the face. I think both players are going off.
I think this'll, knowing Robbie Penny, I think something will come up a little later in the game for that. But Badger cannot afford it. They got to take those things and just go on, and it's more important for them to win the game than it is to get back at somebody. But I don't think the referee has called any penalties on this. If he has, it's to Southern Shore. Robbie didn't get called, Ted. I don't know. I think Southern Shore did. Well, it is Badger, I think. No, it's still... Badger may be getting a power play out of this.
Now Robbie Penny has yet to go to the penalty box, Jack, and Oates directing him there.
There's a penalty being called against Southern Shore on that play, Ted. Robbie Penny did not get a penalty.
But he's gone in the penalty box now, I think.
He's gone back in.
He's back in.
He was out, and the referee was talking to him like he never had a penalty, but now he's gone to the penalty box, so I guess they're going to play 5-on-5.
All 12 minutes, 4 seconds left in the first period. O'Keefe wins the draw. Buckins inside the Badger blue line. Corey Hemian and Bobby Sullivan will freeze it along the boards. And here's the penalty announcement.
I think there's a penalty being called this time against Southern Shore, Ted. A little glove in the face there, and he's going to go.
Number 29, Bobby Sullivan, will probably pick up 2 minutes for roughing.
He put the glove in Hemian's face over on the boards, and Hemian didn't retaliate.
The difference, Jack, in the referees today, Oates goes over, he calls the penalty, he skates back, and the game is started again. There's no
big
talking
difference
to
from
every
last
player
night
on the ice.
The big change from last night when we had such a delay for a 2-minute penalty.
Ball from the face-off. Corey Power loses that draw.
Number 27, Roger Ryan. 2 minutes for roughing. Private penalty, 8 minutes, 6 seconds.
2 minutes for roughing. Roger Ryan and not Bobby Sullivan. 11 minutes, 48 seconds.
Ted, I think that might be Bobby Sullivan because I don't think that Roger Ryan is in the game today.
No, Roger Ryan is not in the game today. It is Bobby Sullivan, number 29.
According to our lineup sheets, that Roger Ryan is not playing today, and number 29 is Bob Sullivan.
Off from the face-off, back to Paul Levine at center, over to Scotty Bishop. Bishop now back at center, back to his own blue line. Bishop just shoots it in the corner, and Donnie Goss. Goss into a line with Sean Levine, and it's blowing down once more.
The referee is not letting him stay on the boards too long to fight for that puck. He's just blowing it down as quickly as they go in there. You don't want nothing to happen, I guess.
29, Bobby Sullivan. 2 minutes of hockey, 8 minutes, 6 seconds.
Now they've corrected it. It is Bobby Sullivan for roughing.
11 minutes, 25 seconds. Strickland back to Little B. There's a shot! And a big pad save by Dennis Lake as the puck deflects all the way down the ice. Oh, Dave Kennedy skated out and dangerously shot the puck just in front of the Breakers player. Now Juan Strickland. Oh, Strickland making some nice moves, but he stopped inside the Breakers blue line. The puck is shot back out the center. Sean Levine. Levine off the board, shoots it deep in. It's behind the net, picked up by Briffett. Briffett shot it out in front and nobody in the slot area. Out of Breakers. Shoot it all the way down the ice. They'll change on the play. George Penny. Penny winds up over center ice, shoots it in the corner. Skates in deep after his own pass. Taken out of the play there is Briffett. Gets it up along the boards, and Andy Sullivan up to Steve Scott. Scott. And over the blue line, there's a shot, and a nice save by Dave Kennedy.
It was a good save by Kennedy, Ted, a shot from Scott, and Scott is always in the play, whether they're shorthand or on the power play, it doesn't matter, he's always there. But getting back to a minute ago there, the Badger goaltender, Dave Kennedy, came out to play the puck and he almost gave it away with nobody behind him. We have 10 minutes and 25 seconds left in the first period, Ted, and so far there's been no scoring.
Puck once again wins the draw. Paul Levine behind his own net. Up to the side to Gushy. Oh, and Levine almost deflected that one in his own net on a back pass from Gushy.
And they're getting away with a couple so far, Ted.
Dave Kennedy, Jack the goaltender, native of Bay Bulls. He's a member of the Canadian Armed Forces stationed in Gander. He had 7 years in Halifax. Also Wade Sutton, a member of the Armed Forces. They both played against each other in the forces, he tells me. And Kennedy says that Sutton has 3 gold medals and Kennedy has 3 bronze. So they beef against each other that quite a lot. Dave Kennedy in the nets today, replacing Mark Hurley. Now number 27, Glabine for the Bombers. Up to Briffett. Briffett up the tuck. Over on the other side to Gushy. There's a shot! Oh, that hit the side of the net. Dennis Lake's glove missed that one, hit the side of the net. It looked like it was in, but it's not. Back to the Badger blue line. Colbert. Over to Sullivan. Sullivan back to his own D. Back up to Andy Sullivan. Andy Sullivan. Watched there by Wade Sutton. And now Steve Scott. Over to Barry Sullivan. Jack, you get mixed up with all the Sullivan names. There's about 5 or 6 Sullivans out there, so we can't go wrong if we say Sullivan. Now Gushy shoots it in behind Dennis Lake. There's a shot out in front. Oh, that was a nice save by Lake. As it back to the blue line, up the center ice. Andy Sullivan. Sullivan. There's a shot. And a skate save by Kennedy. Around to the other side. Andy Sullivan picks up the loose pass. And George Penny. Penny all the way out to center, over to Billy Armstrong. He's ridden into the boards. And now Penny. Once again over to Juan Strickland. Strickland over to Breakers blue line. In ahead to Sutton. He failed to see the pass. And Scott. Scott shoots it up the center. to number 34, O'Driscoll. He finishes off his check. Here's O'Keefe. Oh, that didn't miss by much. Steve Scott keeps it in. Over to the side, number 12. Taken out of the play by Glavine and is blowing down for another face-off.
Another quick whistle by Fred Oates there, Ted. He's just not letting them get any loose pucks in the corners. Once two guys get in there, that's it. He just blows it down. And I don't think he should be doing that. He should be letting them fight for that puck along the boards. That puck was loose that time. No trouble to see it, and he blew it down.
Face off to the right of Dave Kennedy. Corey Power loses the draw. There's a shot. He scores! A shot from the stick of Darrell Walsh slid slowly through the pads of Kennedy, Jack. He thought he had it.
Yeah, it was deflected just before it got to him, Ted. The shot was taken from the blue line by Walsh, but it was deflected before it got to the goaltender, and he didn't have a chance. He got a piece of it, but that was all. We can't fault the goaltender on that one.
Actually, the initial shot was taken by Junior Farrell, number 12, and as you mentioned, deflected. And the Breakers are up by a score of 1-0, 8 minutes left in the first period. On the draw, back to Hemian. Hemian over to Rob Penny, back to Hemian. Up to Bishop. Bishop shoots it in behind Dennis Lake. As the Breakers come back, there's a long pass over to Hemian. And that just got by him, O'Driscoll. Into O'Keefe. O'Keefe got taken out hard by Rob Penny. Now here's O'Driscoll again. Oh, there's a shot in front. And that just slid to the side. Now the Bombers. And now we have a penalty called against the Bombers. Corey Power.
Corey Power is going for slashing, Ted. Behind the play, and it was caught by the referee. And Badger were on a breakout, and Power mid the slash and gets called 2 minutes. This is penalties that Badger can't afford to take in their own end for no apparent reason.
All the Southern Shore Breakers will go on the power play. They're up by 1 goal, 7:30 left in the first period. And they'll take the face-off outside the Lakers' blue line.
Bombers penalty to number 22, Corey Power. 2 minutes for slashing. Time of the penalty, 12 minutes, 30 seconds.
12 minutes, 30 seconds, time of the penalty. Power, 2 minutes for slashing. A rink-wide pass over to Brent Sullivan, 2 lines, and they'll bring it all the way back into Breakers' end.
Well, Ted, this will be a big penalty kill for the Bombers if they can pull it off, because we got 7:24 left in period number 1. And if they score here, they're down by 2. And the further you get down to Southern Shore, the tougher it's going to get.
George Penny back on the blue line again today after Scotty Young picked up a match penalty. On the face-off, puck's back at center. Gushy shoots it deep in the Breakers' end as the Bombers try to kill off this penalty. All the Breakers over the Badger blue line. Brent Sullivan makes a nice move over to Scott Sullivan and Tuck. Off the boards and down the ice. Now Scott Sullivan skates in front of his own net. Up to the other side. And the Bombers, Wade Sutton picks up a loose puck, throws it back down. The Breakers on the power play. Steve Scott throws it off the glass in behind Dave Kennedy and Juan Strickland. He failed to get it out. And now here's a break for Sutton. Sutton in over the line all alone. There's a shot. Oh, and he just missed the open side. He had Dennis Lake beat, but he just missed the open side. Now the Breakers come right back. Here's Billy Windsor. Oh, that pass was high for Scott Sullivan. And now Juan Strickland all the way back down the ice over to the other side. There's a shot by Pittman and a big glove save, Jack, and we're seeing some exciting hockey here in the last couple of minutes.
It just seems like the Bombers are playing better when they're short-handed. They had a real good chance that time, 2 good chances. First one by Sutton, and it just got away from him. He had a wide open net, and it just rolled off the end of his stick. And then he got taken down after that. He never had a chance. And that was another good shot taken in from the blue line, just inside the blue line, and a great glove save by Dennis Lake.
Well, a goal here by the Bombers late in this first period, Jack, going into the dressing room, will certainly give them more confidence coming out in the second. When they come out in the second last night, they were only down 2-1, and within 3 minutes they were down 5-1. So a goal here late in the period will give them all the confidence they need. Now Paul Glavine, a pass up for brother Sean Glavine. He failed to pick it up, and it's all the way back behind Dennis Lake. Alabamers back in their own end, killing off this penalty. Rob Penny shoots it all the way back once again. As the Breakers line up for one more play on this power play, Andy Sullivan. Over to Barry Sullivan. He failed to pick up the pass. And Paul Glavine just lazily gets it up the center. 5 minutes, 21 seconds. Scotty Bishop along with Colbert. Puck is loose, comes over to Barry Sullivan. Back up to Colbert. Colbert over on the other side, number 2, Darrell Walsh. And the Bombers pick up the puck. Corey Powers back at the penalty box, and the teams are playing 5-a-side.
And we're down to less than 5 minutes, 4:59 left in period 1. 1-0 Southern Shore, but Badger seems to be playing better today than they have in any of the periods that I've seen previous.
And Jack, a big hello to our viewers out in TV land. It's a miserable day out there today, and not a good day probably for our senior citizens and our shut-ins. So we hope you're enjoying the game out there today on this miserable Sunday afternoon weather.
Typical Newfoundland weather.
And we hope we can just brighten up your day by sitting back, relaxing with a nice hot cup of tea, and follow this game. Now O'Driscoll shoots it in the corner. To the corner, Juan Strickland. He loses the puck. Over here to George Penny. Penny. Up to Billy Armstrong. Over to Sutton. Shot back in. Now Strickland will try it by himself. Up the center. Makes a nice move. Over to Armstrong. He takes it in the corner. Ridden off into the glass. Puck is still kept in. Sutton knocks down a high puck, Jack, and it's called back.
He had a good scoring chance there, Ted, but that was knocked down with a high stick, so the penalty, the face-off will come back outside the line. Looking around, there is quite a crowd here, but still don't think it was so big as last night, although it was sold out. But I'd say there's well over 1,000 people here.
Well, the word around is that there was over 1,300 last night. And Jack, I'd say there's a good 1,200 here tonight, because down here in the zone down behind us, she's 2 and 3 deep. And just down below us, it may not be as thick as last night, but on the draw, old Penny shoots it right over the top of the glass, and they'll just drop the puck once more.
A lot of people did when they come in, they want to stay down by the canteen area, and this is why you get so many down in one area, like there's 3 or 4 deep in behind, and up on the other end there's seems to be some room behind the glass up on the right-hand side there. Better advantage for them if they went down there, but they don't want to go down there, I guess.
From the face-off, over on the other side. Shot in behind Dave Kennedy. George Penny, he's taken out of the play into the boards. And Juan Strickland. Strickland makes a nice move to get around Derek Sullivan. Up to his own blue line, stops. Gushy shoots it up the center. Shot right back in by the Breakers. And number 14, George Penny, setting up this play, up to Gushy. Gushy at center, shoots it in. Craig Tuck in behind the net, looking for that loose puck. There's a shot by Briffett right out in front, and another shot. And a pad save by Dennis Lake. 2 big shots by the Bombers. Dennis Briffett all alone, and he just failed to tuck it home. Now number 9, Kenny Butt, sees his first shift. No, it's not Kenny Butt. Okay, Briffett back in the corner around the net, and Gushy takes his man into the boards. And the Breakers can't get the puck out over the blown blue line. Out shot across to the other side. Tuck He's taken out of the play, and it's blowing
Dennis Lake
down.
grabs it, Ted, and he'll... we have...
Now Steve O'Brien, number 4, takes Craig Tuck heavy into the glass.
I think there will be penalties called here. I think probably the initial call may go on Tuck, Ted. He took quite a slash at the goaltender. But Badger, that was their best effort that I've seen in this series for a minute or so that they had the puck in the other end. They had some great scoring chances.
They certainly did. Dennis Griffith in all alone. And Dennis Lake come up with the big save, and then the rebound, and Lake come up with the second save. And then we had some pushing and shoving down the Jack, but nothing amounts, never come to nothing.
And there's Oates, went to the penalty box, gave the penalty, skated back out, and pointed to the face-off, and that's the way it should be. A lot different from last night. He doesn't want to talk to anybody. He pointed to the face-off, and let's play hockey.
3 minutes, 11 seconds left in the first period. Corey Power will take the face-off for the Badger Bombers. Raw referee Oates has words with Scott Sullivan and Steve Scott. And the whistle is blowing, and they'll line up for the face-off. To the left of Dennis Lake.
That's the way that penalty should be handled by the referee.
That's the way the game is played. Now Corey Power.
And there's only one penalty being called.
Number 4, Steve O'Brien. 2 minutes of roughing after the whistle. Southern Shore 31, Dennis Lake. 2 minutes of ice sticking. Time to penalty 60.
Two-man advantage, Ted.
There's a shot by Rob Penny. He scores! No goal.
No goal by the referee, and his hands up, Ted. And pointing to the face-off, to the right-hand face-off circle.
Well, the red light.
Red light is still on, but he's not conferring with the goal judge.
The red light, well, it just went off, but the referee was right by it, Jack, so...
Maybe he had a blue down before the puck entered the net, Ted. That's the only reason I can see, or he had a real good view. And
he had a real good view of that. He was right to the side of the net. And no goal from the face-off. Corey Power loses the draw. Andy Sullivan shoots it all the way back. Goaltender Dave Kennedy leads it for Juan Strickland. Strickland up the center in the Corey Power. He makes his way around the net, looking for the man in the slot area. Brings it all the way back across to Strickland. Oh, Strickland had a beauty chance to shoot, but just shot it out. There's a shot by Corey Power. Rob Penny keeps it in. Penny over to the other side to Strickland. There's a shot, and another save by Dennis Lake. And another shot by Scotty Bishop.
And for some reason, the play is being blown down again by the referee for a face-off. That puck was just bouncing around in there, and I don't know why it was blown down.
All the Bombers really applying the pressure now to the Breakers.
Really getting quick whistles from the ref on this sequence of plays, Ted.
2 minutes, 22 seconds left in the first. Still 1-0 for the Southern Shore Breakers. And the Bombers, Jack, just having a great period. It's probably the best period we've seen them play since the round robin. Well, except for the Flat Rock game last Saturday when they had a full good game. Al Strickland just failed to keep the puck in over his own blue line. Cross to Rob Penny. Penny just shoots it in the corner. Around the net. The Breakers can't get it out. Penny, Rob Penny, brings it over here to Strickland. Strickland. He's watched by Scott Sullivan. Over to Corey Power. There's a shot by Tuck. And another shot and a big save by Dennis Lake. And that one is blowing down as Lake covers up with Wade Sutton right in front.
They're certainly getting their chances, but I think they're keeping that puck too low. The whole top of the net is open, and they're getting their shots down low, but Lake has really come up big for him now. He made some great saves in that, at that time. We have 1:50 left in the first period, and the Bombers are still with a two-man advantage. And it's almost a must situation, Ted, for them to get a goal right now where they have two-man advantage.
Rob Penny, Ron Strickland back on the point. Wade Sutton, Craig Tuck, Brian Gushy up front. The Bombers on the power plays. Back to Strickland. There's a shot by Rob Penny. And Dennis Lake Stir that to the corner. Penny up the tuck over to Sutton. Oh, Sutton had a beautiful chance, but passed it back.
One pass too many again, Ted.
One pass too many. Over to the other side. There's a shot. Oh, and a big skate save off the stick of Craig Talk, Jack, and the Bombers really applying the pressure on this power play.
Yeah, they know they got a two-man advantage, and I think they're trying to spring somebody wide open, but they're going to have to take some of those shots. Like Juan Strickland there in particular had a great opportunity to shoot the puck and didn't do it. And Wade Sutton, from about 35 feet out, had a great chance, and he passed the puck behind him and nobody there. We're still 5-on-3, so there's time yet.
Corey Power of the Bombers. He loses that draw to Chris O'Keefe. There's a shot by George Penny, and Dennis Lake is out of the net. Bombers try to get it up here. They do. Oh, Paul Levine wound up for the slap shot, but he fell at the last second. Puck's in behind the net. Back out to Levine. Levine just off the boards, back into the corner. And the Bombers still with possession of the puck on this power play.
Power play is over, Ted.
Okay, the power play is over. It's in behind the net. Cross to the other side. And the Breakers bring it up the center. That pass is intercepted by Scotty Bishop. Back to Corey Power. Oh, and Power was stopped there by Donnie Goss. Now to George Penny. Penny with a shot. Lake with a pad save. Steers that to the corner. Back right up here to center. And Briffett back over to Corey Power. He just shoots it back deep. And O'Driscoll picks up the loose puck behind his own net. Up to Andy Sullivan at center. Sullivan loses the puck. Over to number 12 for the Breakers. John O'Driscoll. Now it's Sullivan with a nice pass. Back to Scott. Scott over to Andy Sullivan on the side. And the period is over, Jack.
Yes, Ted, good period of play. Badger Morton held their own. I think they probably outshot Southern Shore for the first time in the series. And except for some great goaltending by Lake, they could have easily gone on even terms for the start of the second period. But you've got to shoot that puck, I think, a little higher than what they did in that period to beat Lake.
Well, after 20 minutes of play, the Southern Shore Breakers lead the Badger Bombers by a score of 1-0, and we'll be back in a few minutes with play-by-play of your second period.
Changing over to the spear camera now.
24. Yesterday he only had last inning, he had on 16.
That needs to keep those balls crossed.
It gives you that boost.
We gotta go to top him on the way out. So I got brought up to the
Sound looks good.
long as he's long as he's happy. Will he be home tonight?
Yeah.
Long as he's
Well, except when he gets busy, he's fucking busy. He calls do it again.
Switching over this camera again now.
surprised. Nick? Surprised everything's working well down here.
Yeah. All the moisture going in the air.
Yeah, it's really wet down here.
When you get two good fellas that knows what they're doing, you know.
To keep the lines clear, that's all. That's great. Taking that up the back bit? No.
No, not yet, no.
Welcome back to the second period of Game 2, the All-Newfoundland Provincial Hurler Memorial Championships. And in front of us this period, Dennis Lake of the Breakers, Jack, and hopefully we'll see lots of action up in this end. And now the wrap up of the first period, Jack, I think you had that there.
Yes, Ted, 1-0 for Southern Shore after the first period on a goal by Junior Farrell from Chris O'Keefe at 11:55 of the period. Shots on goal, Badger had 13, Southern Shore had 7. Penalties were 5 for Southern Shore and 3 for Badger. That's the most shots that Badger have had, I think, in any one period, but they still have nothing to show for it.
Ball from the face-off, the puck is shot in the Badger end. And already Wade Sutton up over the glass in the end blues.
Scored by Southern Shore in the first period. Scored by number 12, Junior Farrell.
And that's the way we had it called, Ted, Junior Farrell.
And the Breakers lead by a score of 1-0. 12 seconds gone in the second period. The Bombers need a must-win in order to take this back to Southern Shore with any chance of going all the way to the Herder. From the face-off, back up here to Paul Pittman. He loses the pass. Our Bombers try once again, and Junior Farrell intercepts that pass and throws it right back deep. Robbie Penny takes his man, Billy Windsor, out of the play. Back up to Steve Scott. Scott throws it back in the corner, and Penny, number 66, out to the side of his own net. A pass thrown all the way up center. Now there's a shot. Oh, they score! Jack, I didn't even see how that play developed. The puck came off the boards out in front.
There was nobody there, only Southern Shore did, right in front of the net, and he kept poking at the puck and poking at it, and finally went in. Not even sure who it was. It was an innocent play that went in, and there was nobody back there from the Bombers to pick up that loose puck, and he was left all alone. And Southern Shore came out in this period, Ted, and all they looked like they were killing the penalty, because every time they got the puck, they just shot it into the Badger end. And I had to keep counting to see if they had 5 men on the ice.
And this is the way the second period started for the Bombers last night. 51 seconds, and now the Shore is up by a score of 2-0. Corey Power, watch he's holding it behind his own net by Donnie Goss. Juan Strickland takes his man out, and George Penny deep in his own end, off the board. Scotty Bishop leaves it for Power. Power up here to Scotty Bishop. He failed to pick up the pass. Donnie Goss. Goss up to Barry Sullivan, and that's in behind the net, and a two-line play, Jack, and they'll be called for icing.
Goal scored by number 9, Billy Windsor. Assisted by number 23, Frank Sullivan, and number 2, Darrell Rowe. Time of goal, 61 seconds.
Ted, Brent Sullivan shot that puck in, and it bounced right off the boards, right back out in front to Billy Windsor. He was there all alone, and he just kept poking at it, and the goaltender had no chance whatsoever. I think he made about, Dave Kennedy made about 2 stops before it finally went in net.
On the face-off, oh, a wicked shot by Robbie Penny, and that was just wide. Andy Sullivan failed to get it out. The Bombers, Dennis Briffett, keeps it in off the end boards over here to Barry Sullivan. Gushy takes him out of the play, and Barry Sullivan again comes up with the loose puck right out the center. That pass is not picked up, and the Bombers just shoot it back to the Breakers' blue line. Now there's Gushy with a shot, and a save by Lee. Andy Sullivan failed to get it out. The Bombers pile on the boards, and this is the style of hockey, the bump and grind that the Bombers need to do to stay in this series. Now Craig Tuck out in front. There's a shot. Oh! And Gushy just failed to put that in the open side, and the Breakers, now Gushy and Barry Sullivan got their sticks up. Oh, what a chance by Gushy, Jack.
Yes, Ted, he was wide open. They kept passing that puck around in front instead of taking shots, and he finally got a great shot. And it just went wide to the left of goaltender. Dennis Lake was a little lucky on that one, Ted. It just rolled wide of the corner.
17 minutes, 37 seconds. Left in the second period, and Jack, the Bombers started their bump and grind.
And it paid off, too.
And it paid off.
Corners.
They had an excellent chance. The Breakers up by a score of 2-0. They'll take the face-off to the left of Lake. From the draw, Pittman just failed to keep it in. John O'Driscoll shoots it in the corner. Rob Penny in, picks up the loose puck.
And now we have
a penalty on the play to the Badger Bombers.
Yes, Ted, Southern Shore were going for the puck, and they just took the man out of the play. He'll either get tripping or interference on the play.
Number 12, Corey Hemian, and the Breakers will go on the power play.
He certainly didn't want this to happen after just being scored on, Ted. It'd make it 2-0. It'll only take a penalty there was really no need of taking.
And Jack, it takes the momentum away from the Bombers.
Yes, Ted, they had a little bit going even after they got scored on. They started down on this end, the bump and grind in the corners, and they were picking up the loose puck.
Time of the penalty, 2 minutes, 32 seconds.
On the face-off, Billy Windsor just failed to get a shot away. Ron Strickland taken into the corner there, loses the puck. Sean Levine shoots it out, and it's up the center. Now the Bombers, short-handed. Corey Power almost got loose. And Paul Levine and Brent Sullivan go heavy into the boards. Sullivan still with the puck. Levine tries to get it out, couldn't. Now Corey Power. Power off the boards all the way down the ice as they kill off this penalty. Now Donnie Goss out the center, up to Scott Sullivan. That went off his skate, and the Bombers just shoot it right back. Now Goss over to Scott Sullivan. Steve Scott couldn't get the puck in, and the Bombers just killing off this penalty. Now Tuck over to Gushy. Gushy makes a nice move. Oh, back to Tuck, and he just failed to pick up the pass. Now back to center. Andy Sullivan. There's a shot, and a big save by Kennedy as Gushy gets it all the way back to center. Now Steve Scott at center. Puck is stopped by Tuck. Tuck lifts it and over the Breakers' blue line. And Steve Scott winds up behind his own net. This hockey player can really read the ice pretty well. Getting over the Badgers' blue line, the shot back to center. Now Goss shoots it right back deep in the Badger end. George Penny picks up the puck, makes his way out to his own blue line, up to Sutton. Sutton in on the blue line. Oh, there's a shot, and a block there by Steve Scott. Scott out front over to Barry Sullivan. Oh, Barry Sullivan stopped there by Rob Penny. Now there's Goss again. Oscar!
Interference being called on the play. Billy Armstrong interfered with the man coming across to let Sutton get in all alone, Ted, but there'd be no goal here. This was an interference call all the way.
A delayed penalty against the Badger Bombers. So as soon as the Bombers touched the puck, they were blowing down for a delayed penalty, so no goal.
Now the referee is calling the face-off outside the line, Ted, as it should be. But that was, I don't know why Armstrong did that on that play. I fail to understand it. He was coming in all alone there, number 6 Sutton on the wing, and he had nobody in front of him, and Armstrong on the other side interfered with the player that was coming in.
Bomber penalty number 8, Billy Armstrong. 2 minutes for Hooking. Bomber penalty 4 minutes, 38 seconds.
Well, not a good penalty for Armstrong. As the Bombers were on the move, they had the puck in the net, but called on the delayed penalty. Now number 12 for the Southern Shore Breakers, gets it up the center. Billy Windsor. He couldn't get past Robbie Penny, and it's over on the other side. Now the Bombers again with another break. Here's Levine. There's a shot, and Lake blocked that one, and it's back out to Billy Windsor. Windsor shoots it up the center. Darrell Walsh, number 2, shoots it in the Badger end, picked up by George Penny. 14 minutes, 37 seconds left in the second period. 2-0 the Southern Shore Breakers. Number 12, Junior Farrell, makes a nifty move at center, shoots it in, up to Steve Scott. Scott, and now here's another break for Sutton. But Scott Sullivan got back in time to pick up the loose puck and just throw it out to center ice. Now Barry Sullivan, across to the other side to Steve Scott. He's taken in the corner by Rob Penny. That's Andy Sullivan. There's a shot! Oh, the big save by Dave Kennedy.
And there's people going all over the place now, Ted. Sticks are high. I don't like this when sticks are high.
Now Donnie Goss.
Look at this. Look.
Donnie Goss and Robbie Penny. They're going at it down on the boards. George Penny in talking to referee Oates. Donnie Goss had his stick up.
Yes, Teddy was using that like a machete. He wouldn't let Robbie Penny come near him then. That's poor sportsmanship. I know you've got to protect yourself, but you don't go at that with a stick like that. Oh, just get the fans going, Ted. Number 6, Donnie Goss did that, had his stick up with a two-hander if Penny had come any closer to him. I don't think this got any place in the game of hockey.
Well, this all started with 13:58 left in the period. As referee Oates, it doesn't take long to sort this out, Jack.
No, it doesn't. And we must say on that play that Kennedy made some great saves there in front of the net because he had there were a couple of players that were wide open. It could easily have been 3-0.
Well, this is the best game that we've seen the Bombers play. As all the fans now are getting into this game. 13:58 left. Oates blows the whistle. The boys better line up for the face-off or we'll have a delayed game here with penalties on both sides.
The referee is doing his job, Ted, but the benches now, I think he should go to the benches and say, look, I've already called the penalties, get your players later and let's get at it.
It all started with a big pile-up in front of Dave Kennedy. Here we go, here are the announcements.
2 minutes for high sticking. Number 66, Rob Penny, 2 minutes for roughing. And Southern Shores, number 6, Donnie Goss, 2 minutes for high sticking. Hunter Penny, 6 minutes, 2 seconds.
Oh, again, the Bombers come out on the short end of this, Ted, to get the extra 2. I think that was the one that was being called first, the one on George Penny, and Goss and Robbie Penny got into it after, which accounted for their offsetting penalties. So Badger again will be a man short, and he can't afford, with almost 14 minutes left in the second period, to be playing short-handed all period.
Andy Sullivan will take the draw for the Southern Shore Breakers. And he'll line up against number 15, the Bombers, Craig Talk. On the face-off, back to Steve Scott. Scott up to Andy Sullivan. Andy Sullivan, a rink-wide pass. There's a shot! And a big save by Kennedy.
Kennedy looked behind him, Ted. He thought that puck got by him, but he looked behind him, but it didn't go in. No light came on, and the referee didn't point the finger for the goal, so he had it somewhere.
All the Southern Shore Breakers on the power play, and the Bombers are 2 men short as they got to kill off this penalty before the Breakers move the score up to 3-0. Out from the face-off, Andy Sullivan takes the puck to the corner. Dipsy Doodles comes back to his own blue line. Watched there by Tuck. There's a shot by Scott and another big save by Kennedy.
That was a big save, Ted. A shot from Scott from the point. So that rhymes a bit. But I didn't realize that Badger, they are 2 men short. And this will be a big penalty kill for them if they can do this and then stop taking some of those foolish penalties that they're taking. I think Kennedy has played very well today in goal for the Bombers, Ted.
Yeah, he's come up with some big saves, Jack, and maybe this is what the Bombers needed, a change in goaltending, not taking anything away from Mark Hurley. Mark has been playing good. And another save by Kennedy, and the puck is all the way back to the Breakers' blue line. Scott over on the side. There's a shot by Windsor, and another save by Kennedy.
Well, I think they got one man back, Ted, now, so they're only one man short. The Badgers played very well killing penalties today. In particular, they've had their share of penalties, and they've done very well killing them out. But by taking all those penalties, is wearing down those penalty killers, so eventually it's going to get to them. When you're killing penalties, you don't get to use your regular lines. There's people that's sitting on the bench now since all this started. They can't all be out there, so they're getting cold on the bench.
Junior Farrell, Steve Scott. The D for the Breakers. Back to Scott. Over to Farrell. Farrell fakes a shot into Brent Sullivan. Back over to Scott. There's a shot. And that didn't miss by very much. Now number 9, Windsor. Across the front of the net, the skate save by Kennedy. Scott takes it in the corner. Breakers try to get out in front. Windsor. Back here to Steve Scott. Scott. Back into Sullivan. Back to Scott. Scott, makes a nice move to get around Gushing. Oh, what a stick save by Kennedy. He'll take it in behind the net. Number 8, Scott Sullivan. Back out to Windsor. Looking for Brent Sullivan in the slot. Now back to Windsor. Back here to number 12, Junior Farrell. Back to Windsor. The Bombers have to kill off this penalty, and that was deflected in the end Blues with 12 minutes, 21 seconds left to score. 2-0 Southern Shore Breakers.
They can certainly thank the goaltender Dave Kennedy down there that this score didn't mount that time, because he made some fantastic saves. He got one off the handle of his stick that was labeled for the top left-hand corner. The score still remains at 2-0, and they're more than lucky right now for this score to be that close.
All the Breakers still on the power play. Face off to the left of Dave Kennedy. Chris O'Keefe, number 26 for the Breakers. Jack, probably the best face-off man around. There's a shot, and that hit the side of the net. Behind the boards, O'Driscoll. Out to Bobby Sullivan. Back out to Corey Bond. There's a shot. He scores!
That was a screen shot, hit all the way. He had no chance. There was the Bombers standing in front of their goaltender, had him completely blocked out. He never had a chance. And it wasn't a hard shot, but he just didn't see it. And now it's a monumental task, down 3-0 with 12 minutes left in period number 2. They cannot afford to go to Southern Shore down 2 games.
A power play goal by the Southern Shore Breakers. A shot from number 5, Corey Bond, that went all the way. And Dave Kennedy was screened on the shot. And the Breakers are up 3-0. Now Lyle O'Driscoll. In over the Bombers line, once again taken out of the play by Rod Penny. Gushy moves in, takes out his man. And another penalty.
Another penalty behind the play, Ted. Robbie Penny is going to get it for tripping, there's no doubt about that. These are penalties you can't afford to take. And they keep on taking them. They just finished getting scored on by a power play, and now they're right back on another one.
Those Southern Shore Breakers team, Jack, they're a fast team, and they love the power plays, and it's not very often they don't capitalize on a power play.
Well, they got another chance now with 11:52 left in the middle frame. If they get down 4-0, lights are going to be turned out, I think.
Breakers Bombers built by number 5, Corey Bond. Assisted by number 26, Chris O'Keefe. Number 11, Lyle O'Driscoll. Time of the goal, 7 minutes, 57 seconds.
11:57, the time of the goal, 3-0. Breakers on the power play. Bombers shoot it off the glass and all the way down the ice. behind Dennis Lee.
Rob Penny, 2 minutes of kicking. Time of the penalty, 8 minutes, 8 seconds.
Now Goss up here to O'Keefe, back to Goss. Goss over to Steve Scott at center. That's stopped by Corey Power, and a shot back inside the Breakers blue line. Back to O'Keefe. And it's blowing down again. And we have some problem at the penalty box.
Seems like there might be a penalty or trouble with the clock, Ted. Probably playing it down to the other end. That's the only thing I could see, that there was probably trouble with the clock. Now he's gone to the Breakers bench to inform them of what's going on.
Well, the clock has been set back, Jack, or set ahead.
It was 11:44 when I looked at it. Now it's back to 12:04. The clock is going all over the place, Ted. Now it's 4:11, 41:15.
Well, there is a problem with the clock, Jack, and so we'll have a stoppage in play until that's fixed. And Jack, the Breakers up 3-0. A big task to come back
now.
for.
Yes, Ted. It's getting bigger by the minute. And you got to start scoring goals. You can't score goals in the penalty box. We've talked about this so often, even with Coach Leo Murphy, about taking some of those foolish penalties that they've been taking, and they keep on at it. You know, you're not going to beat a Southern Shore, not this caliber, from the penalty box.
11:52. We still have a small delay here in the game, and once again, a big hello to our viewers out there in the community of Badger who are seeing our telecast probably for the first time last night and today, and we hope you're enjoying it.
Well, the clock is still moving around. Now it's 11:37. But looking out at the ice surface, this end of the ice probably wouldn't have to be done this period. No marks down this end at all. All the play has been in the Badger end.
All the linesmen ready to drop the puck. On the face-off, Sutton wins the draw, back to Strickland. Strickland over on the other side, moves up the center, makes some nice moves to get in over the Breakers blue line, and Steve Scott broke that off. Now George Penny back to Sutton. Sutton will try it. In over the Breakers blue line, he lost the puck. Back to Paul Pittman, crossed in front to Strickland, and it wasn't hard enough. Now Barry Sullivan leaves it back at the blue line. Strickland picks up the loose puck. Back over the Breakers line. Makes some nice moves here. Gets it back to Sutton. There's a shot. Oh! He had the wide open net and just shot it through the crease. Sutton got taken down hard by Barry Sullivan. Strickland. There's a shot. And that was just wide. What a chance Sutton had. And he missed the wide open side. Now there's Scott with a shot. And that's over the top of the net. Andy Sullivan in the corner, along with Strickland. Over to the other side, and Sutton shoots it off the boards, and the Bombers will make a change on the fly. Donnie Goss, named the best defenseman in the Avalon West League this year, shoots it off ahead to Steve Scott. Scott lets a hard shot go. That was a mile wide. Over to the other side. Goss can't keep it in. And it's back to number 12. Over on this side to Junior Farrell. Now there's Tuck. Tuck with a shot. And that was off the end board. Tuck picked up a loose puck from Junior Farrell. Tries to get it out in front. And Brent Sullivan. Now up to Scott Sullivan. Over the Badger blue line. Back to Brent Sullivan. There's a shot. He scores!
Okay, it's 4-0 now with half a game remaining. 9:48 left in period number 2. And getting back to Sutton, the great chance down at this end. He was in all alone, faked the goaltender and slid it across the open net, parallel with the net. And as usual, they go back the other way and they pick up a goal.
Well, he certainly had Dennis Lake beaten with a wide open net and just shot it through the crease. Now Now number 2, Junior Farrell shoots it in. Dave Kennedy will hold on for another face-off. 9:39. 4-0 score. Southern Shore Breakers lead the Bombers. And it's only game 2, the All Newfoundland Hurdle Memorial Championship.
Number 23, Brent Sullivan. Assisted by number 8, Scott Sullivan. Time of goal, 10 minutes, 12 seconds.
12 minutes, 10 seconds. Brent Sullivan from Scott Sullivan. Out from the draw. Puck is shot in behind the net. Shot up the center. And number 12, Junior Farrell, shoots it right back in. Now Hemian. Hemian taken out of the play behind the net. Gets the puck up over center. And Sean Levine failed to pick up that pass. And now number 27, brother Paul Levine. Off the boards. Up here to Corey Power. He's watched by Junior Farrell. Power. Paul Levine. Up to Sean Levine. He's taken out of the play. And the Breakers and the play getting very scrambly as Lyle O'Driscoll makes a nice save to get away from Sean Levine. Kennedy will hang on with 8:49 left.
Ted, play is very scrambly now. Most of it's been played in the center ice area. Southern Shore, the same as last night now, are just content probably to sit back and not let Badger get too many good scoring opportunities. They have a 4-goal lead to play with, so this is usually what happens in this situation. 8:49 left in period number 2. Now we had the referee going back to the box on a player change from Southern Shore. He's not allowed to do it.
Waller ready for the face-off. Bobby Sullivan wins the draw. Puck shot across in front of the net. Over to the other side, Rob Penny fights for possession, gets it up to center. And Kenny Butt seeing his first shift of the day for the Badger Bombers. There's a shot that hits the side of the net. John O'Driscoll tries to pick up the loose puck into Chris O'Keefe. Back to O'Driscoll. O'Driscoll in the corner. Puck is shot out by the Bombers by Rob Penny.
And now we have a mix-up down in the other end, Ted, number 32.
And
we have it down there, too.
Scotty Stuckless, number 2. Scotty Stuckless, number 2. And it looks like Steve O'Brien.
Scott Stuckless said.
And I can't see the number on the jersey.
It's number 32, Ted.
Number 32, Darryl Costello.
Darryl Costello from Southern Shore, Scotty Stuckless.
And Scotty Stuckless been escorted off.
But we had another altercation at the other end before this one started. And I'm not sure who was it. You couldn't watch 2 of them at the same time.
Now Darryl Costello. Costello's been escorted out of the game. Number 4, Jack. That was number 4, Steve O'Brien.
Steve O'Brien.
Steve O'Brien and Scotty Stuckless. And down at the other end was number 32, Darryl Costello. I don't know who he was fighting with on the Bombers.
No, I left that one and come back to
well,
this
the main
one here
event,
because the main event was down this way.
The main event was down in this way, and we'll see. We'll wait the official announcement of the penalties.
This might take a little longer to sort out because we had 2 separate altercations, but the ref has left the penalty box, so he's giving out the penalties. What a difference from last night, Ted, in officiating.
Certainly is. No players mill around Fred Oates, the captain or the assistant captain, and that's it.
No, he went to the box,
There he
did
goes.
the penalties. Now he's blowing the whistle to resume play. they want to see anybody else.
Well, that's the way it should be. As Scotty Stuckless saw his first shift, and when his shift ended, he was thrown out of the game.
Yeah, he meant it work well, Ted.
And Kenny Butt, number 9, saw his first shift as well. And the fans now getting behind the Bombers, Jack.
Yes, they are.
As well as the Breaker fans.
This is waking up the crowd, Ted, and put the crowd right back into this game, I think.
Andy Sullivan wins the draw. Back to Donnie Goss. Goss. Back to Sullivan. Back to Goss. Goss. Band on the shot. Now here's Sutton. Sutton picked up the loose pass. Couldn't get anywhere with it. Shoves it into Billy Armstrong across the other side. That's kept in by Corey Hemian. Hemian into Paul Pittman. Whoa. And number 5 takes his man out of the play. Again, Paul Pittman taken into the boards by number 5 of the Southern Shore Breakers. Back out in front to the side of the net. As Corey Bond really hit Paul Pittman with a couple of hard body checks into the boards. And a shot all the way down the ice. And the Southern Shore Breakers will be called for icing.
Number 14, George Penny, 4 minutes for roughing. Southern Shore Penny, number 4, Steve O'Brien, 5 minutes of fighting and a game misconduct. Number 32, Carol Castro, 4 minutes for roughing.
Offsetting penalties, Ted. On the last one, both players 5 minutes for fighting, and then 2 more for 4 minutes for roughing. So there's no advantage in the power play there for anybody, and that was the best sequence of play that Badger put on for a long time.
Face off to the right of Lake. Scott Sullivan waved out of the face-off circle as Brent Sullivan moves in. Tuck wins the draw. There's a shot by Rob Penny. That was stopped in front. Billy Windsor off the glass. Penny couldn't keep it in. And it's all the way back to the Badger blue line. And it's offside, and the face-off will take place outside the Bombers
Brent
blue
Sullivan,
line.
put his stop offside there, Ted. He went in over and dragged the puck in behind him. But that was the first time that I seen that Southern Shore had to ice the puck to take the pressure off. It was on that last play.
On the face-off, Rob Penny in his own end. Cross to the other side to Dennis Griffith. Griffith up ahead. Tuck failed to pick the pass up. And Darrell Walsh just shoots it out. Rob Penny takes his man in the corner. Dave Kennedy makes the save. 7 minutes left in this second period, and the Breakers lead by a score of 4-0.
Said Robbie Penny got away with one that time. He lost the puck, and he let the Southern Shore Breaker get right in behind him. And Kennedy had to cover up to force a face-off in their own end.
On the face-off, Andy Sullivan makes a nice move. There's a shot by Steve Scott, and Kennedy comes up big once again.
Kennedy made a great save that time. That was a hard shot from the point from Scott, Ted, and it was right on. Scott doesn't miss the net very much. And that was right on, and Kennedy came up with a good save on that play. We got 6:53 left in period number 2. It's still 4-0 for Southern Shore. Badger pretty soon has to get on the scoreboard.
Chris O'Keefe ready to take the face off, lose the draw to Tuck. Tuck over to Griffith. Griffith tries to get around Donnie Goss, couldn't. Takes Goss into the boards. And the Breakers make their way out. Old Driscoll over to Bobby Sullivan. He loses the puck, and it's blowing down once more. Badger will change during the break as Juan Strickland, Corey Hemian, Corey Power all go for the Bombers. And O'Keefe ready to take the draw for the Breakers. 6 minutes, 36 seconds. Back here to Junior Farrell. Shot right back in late. Leaves it behind his net for number 12, Farrell. Farrell couldn't get anywhere. Donnie Goss off the glass. The Bombers keeps it in. Juan Strickland in behind the Corey Power, trying to get it out in front. And Scotty Bishop, he's tied up, he can't get anywhere. Corey Power against O'Keefe, now they'll freeze it along
Now we'll get a
boards.
face-off. Some of the fans on the left side are trying to get into it. They're yapping away at the players. I think the music man's gone on strike.
Yeah, I think Wolfman Jack is taking a break there today. They'll line up for the face-off to the right of Lake. Back out over the Bombers' blue line. Hemian failed to get it back in. And it's back to Junior Farrell. Darrell Walsh shoots it all the way. Kennedy stops that and holds on. 5 minutes, 50 seconds. 4-0 Southern Shore Breakers.
There he is. We knew we'd get him back on the air again. I think he was wrapped up in the game, Ted, like it was in St. John. When he's at it, he does a good job, though. We'll let the fans and the people at home enjoy the music.
Andy Sullivan, one of the premier players ever lays the skates on in Newfoundland, wins the draw. Out a shot in the breakers in. Number 5, Corey Bond. Around the glass, up to Barry Sullivan. Ahead to Colbert, back to Sullivan. There's a shot and a stick save by Dennis Kennedy. Puck's back out to center. Corey Bond shoots it right back in. And is picked up by Juan Strickland. Strickland, inside of his own net. Makes his way out. Up to center. There's a shot, and by Sean Glavine, Jack, but nobody ain't beating Dennis Lake on the glove hand.
Not from that distance, Ted, no way. Nobody in front of him from just outside the blue line. But he held on for a face-off to slow the play down a little bit. There we had the music back on again. That makes quite a difference in the game.
On the face-off, Scott Sullivan. Billy Armstrong shoots it around the net. Steve Scott. Scott up there to Brent Sullivan. Bombers fail to keep it in. It's to the side, and number 12, Junior Farrell, taken out of the play, but he gets the puck over to number 9, Billy Windsor. Windsor up with the loose puck. Oh, a lead pass to Brent Sullivan that hit a stick. Oh, and he's taken in on the boards hard by Robbie Penny. Puck is to the side. Number 6, Sutton. Sutton gets it out over his own line, up the center. Back picked up by Robbie Penny. Cross here to Billy Armstrong. There's Sutton. Oh, and Sutton just failed to get through Farrell and Scott. Sutton once again picks up a loose puck to the side of the net. As Dennis Lake and Sutton mix it up. Now Scott Sullivan back down. There's a shot by Windsor, and that was over the top of the net. Back to the other side. Billy Armstrong takes his man out. Puck is in front. Scott Sullivan just failed to get his stick on it. Wade Sutton. And they'll freeze it along the inboards once more. 4:03 left in the second. 4-0 Southern Shore Breakers.
As Ted, it looked like Sutton was in all alone, and all of a sudden there were 2 men back wherever they came from. Their defense are pretty quick when it comes to getting back to help out their goaltender. Sutton was on the way in there, and it looked like he was in all alone. And all of a sudden his shot got deflected to the inboards, and there was 2 players back here.
Junior Farrell and Steve Scott, 2 of the faster defensemen on the Southern Shore Breakers. Now from the face-off, Southern Shore wins the draw. And number 2, Junior Walsh. Hoops it in, back here to center, Gushy. Gushy off the boards, in around the net. It's off to the side. Darrell Walsh. Over here to O'Driscoll. O'Driscoll up to John O'Driscoll. There's a shot, and that's blocked in front as Strickland. Strickland tried to get it out in front. There's a loose puck by O'Driscoll, and O'Kennedy covers up once more.
Well, Southern Shore are not giving up on this 4-0 lead. They're really digging in the corners, and they're beating the Badger Bombers to the puck and getting it out in front for good opportunities. So they're not going to sit on this 4-0 lead. A wholesale change of players for both teams again. We have 3 minutes and 25 seconds left in period number 2.
Jack, if you'll watch Darrell Walsh, number 2, defenseman for the Southern Shore Breakers. He's really playing a really good, consistent game today. Blocking shots, getting the puck out of his own end. Out from the face-off, Bobby Sullivan. Keeps it in behind the net. Rod Penny off the boards, not out. Shot across in front of Dave Kennedy. Bombers can't keep it out. Bobby Sullivan keeps it in. Now Steve Scott. Scott back to Corey Bond. He just missed a check by Corey Power and Scotty Bishop. And the puck shot high in the air comes down in front of Lake and Steve Scott. Scott up to Bobby Sullivan. Sullivan in over the Badger blue line. There's a shot, and he didn't miss by much. Over on the other side, Corey Power dangerously in front of his own net. Up to Scotty Bishop. Bishop failed to get it any further in the center ice. And the Breakers shoot it back and Badger in and make a change on the fly. Now Andy Sullivan up to Barry Sullivan. That's intercepted. Scotty Bishop off the glass. He'll change up. And Junior Farrell off to Andy Sullivan. Andy Sullivan. He's watched there at center. Junior Farrell takes it on in. Barry Sullivan got the loose puck inside the blue line. Shoots it across the ice to Andy Sullivan. Sullivan out front. And Barry Sullivan all alone failed to get his shot away. Now Billy Armstrong just shoots it out to center. Barry Sullivan right back in, and Dave Kennedy will hold on with 15.
They've had every opportunity, I think, around his net. He'll hang on to it. Well, he should have, too, in that case, because they couldn't get it at their own end. So you get a change of players and new fresh legs on there.
1 minute, 51 seconds. And Jack, it seems like the periods are, I don't know if they're long, but it's a good game. But it seems like the period's a little longer than normal.
There's a lot of stoppages of play, Ted, all the time, and this really slows the play down. He hasn't let them play on the boards, for one thing. He's whistled it down when 2 or more players got on the boards with the puck, even though the puck has been loose.
On the face-off, Andy Sullivan tried to get it back to Junior Farrell on the point. Couldn't. Takes it in around behind. Dave Kennedy will pounce on it once again.
Kennedy with just pouncing on the puck and not taking any chances where he could have passed it off and kept the play going. Now he gets another face-off, and Southern Shore have been winning their fair share of face-offs, so they had to be careful with taking too many of them.
Big difference, Jack. Last night and today, of course, is the referee, and Fred Oates is calling a great game today. And from the face-off, once again, down the Lakers' end.
And another icing call.
And the Bombers will be called for icing.
Yes, Ted, I must say there's a big difference in the speed of the penalties being called. When they go to the box, he just goes over, gives what penalties he's called, and the skates back and say, okay, boys, let's go, let's play hockey.
And you'll notice, Jack, he doesn't even skate to the box. He stands about 8 to 10 feet from the box, gives his signal for the penalty, blows the whistle, and the game resumes. Now the puck is in the corner, number 4, Juan Strickland. Back here to Gushy. Gushy shoots it to the other side. Scott Sullivan picks up a loose puck over to Billy Windsor. Windsor. Out here, number 12, Junior Farrell. He faked the shot. Takes it in the corner. Shot right in front. Oh, Windsor had a great chance. Bombers up here. Shoots it in the corner. Number 15, Tuck, out in front. Nobody there in the slot area. And Sullivan just shoots the puck down the center. Now Darrell Walsh all the way down, and the Breakers will be called for icing, and they'll also change on the play.
Ted, did you notice then that when they were coming in, they had a great chance, and the pass was made about 4 feet off the ice. He had no chance whatsoever to getting that, Sutton did, of getting that pass.
50 seconds left in this second period. Chris O'Keefe again wins another draw. Back to Donnie Roach. Roach up on the other side, back to center to Darryl Costello. He just failed to pick it up, and Sean Levine. Levine gets in over the blue line. Corey Power can't keep it in. And Pog Levine. Levine up to Corey Power. That's intercepted. And number 32 for the breaker, Darryl Costello shoots it in, and Kennedy jumping on every puck that comes in front of him.
I don't know why, Ted. He had 2 players back there from his own team, and he could have passed it off. There's only 25 seconds left in this period. They've got to get down this end of the ice. They don't need face-offs in their own end. Really slowing the play down, but not to their advantage.
Well, certainly to the advantage of the Southern Shore Breakers when they had number 26, Chris O'Keefe, probably one of the best face-off men right now around.
I think he won every face-off today that I've seen, Ted.
I don't think I've seen him lose one the whole series. O'Keefe will take this face-off, and we'll just have a look-see there, Jack. Linesman ready to drop the puck. Corey Power and O'Keefe, so we're not going to see it. Both thrown out of the face-off circle. Viola O'Driscoll will move in, take the face-off for the Bombers. He wins the draw. Sean Levine to the side of the net. Robbie Penny shoots it in the corner. And Scotty Bishop. Bishop over on the other side. Corey Power. Corey Power inside the blue line. There's O'Driscoll and Sean Levine. He was tied up pretty good. And now Robbie Penny down the zone end. There's O'Keefe with a shot. He scored!
No goal, Ted. The time had expired.
Well, the buzzer had gone.
No goal. The referee has waved off the goal. The time had expired on the clock, and I was looking at the clock at the same time, so I know it was too.
Well, after 40 minutes of play, the Southern Shore Breakers 4 and the Badger Bombers no score. And we'll be back after a few minutes with play-by-play of your third period.
Just a reminder, the church service usually seen on Sunday afternoons will be seen about 10 minutes after the completion of this game. Thank you. I'm some stunned, I tell you.
It is there.
What?
Huh?
I'm some stunned, I tell you. Paul.
Cameraman.
Who?
Seen up here? Good thing you are going back tomorrow, I'd say.
Ah.
I was wicked from today. I come up from there across. Wicked, I'd say. What a...
So the first thing I'm going to do when we're finished, I'm going to get that DA back up there, and then I'll come down here and I'm just going to get this stuff. There's a camera in the car got to come in, that big camera on the back seat, plus the tripod in front got to come in, and the blue bag.
And we're going to do that for her, so
I'm going to do it up there. Tell him to go ahead as soon as you see him. As soon as you see him, tell him to go ahead.
Well, welcome back to the third period. It's game 2, the All Newfoundland Memorial Hurdle Championships. And Jack, this is the last period that the Badger fans will see here at the stadium this year, as the team now moves to Mobile up in Southern Shore next week. Jack, I believe you got a wrap up of the second period.
Yes, Ted, Southern Shore again got off to a quick start at the 51-second mark. Billy Windsor from Brent Sullivan and Darrell Welch. And at 7:57, Corey Bond from Chris O'Keefe and Loyola O'Driscoll. And at 10-12, Brent Sullivan from Scott Sullivan to make the score 4-0 starting the third period. And like you said, to go to Southern Shore down 2 games, it's a monumental task at that time.
It's a big task, all right, Jack. And when the Breakers get home before their 1,600 fans, but like you say, anything can happen. Anything can happen. And now we have another delay here at the start of the third period, and
Well, in the second period, Ted, Badger had 7 penalties and the Shore had 6. And the shots on goal tells the whole story. Southern Shore shot Badger 15-3 for a 2-period total of 16 for Badger and 22 for Southern Shore.
Paul, 22-16, the shots on goal over 2 periods. The Southern Shore with 22, Badger 16. As Robbie Penny has a little chat there with referee Fred Oates. And we are ready to go now. Oates ready to drop the puck. Does. Sutton wins the draw. Back to Levine. Levine shoots it in the breaker's end. Back up here to center all the way. And the Breakers will be called for icing early in this 3rd period.
Badger got to get something going now. They got to get on, at least get on the scoreboard and probably get this score a little closer if they're going to go to Shore with any momentum at all. If they can't go out there losing here by a big score and expect to win the Southern Shore and take 3 games out there.
Well, it'll be interesting with Badger down 2 going up there. How many fans will be taken in the game? You have your die-hard fans that will still go, but probably a lot of fans probably just dissuaded a little bit now because of the loss of the 2 games here if we lose the second one today. On the face-off, the Breakers over here to Scott Sullivan. There's a shot and a save by Dave Kennedy.
Dave Kennedy coming up big, Ted, in the first 20 seconds of this period. And like you said earlier, there are some fans that are on the bubble right now about going, and if they lose, they can't do any better in the 3rd period than they've done in the previous period. A lot of those fans probably won't be going.
Both teams will change early. Andy Sullivan lines up for the face-off against Corey Power. Power wins the draw. Back over to Strickland. Strickland loses. There's a shot. He scores! Barry Sullivan.
Yes, Ted.
Well, Strickland lost the puck in the corner. Andy Sullivan picked up the loose puck, shot it out in front, and Sullivan made no mistake.
Oh, he did. Kennedy never had a chance. He didn't even see it. Didn't know where the puck come from until it wound up behind him, and that makes the score 5-0. First shot on goal in the 3rd period makes it 5-0.
We'll await the official announcement, but we're pretty sure it was Barry Sullivan. Now Donnie Goss behind his own net, tried to get it out, couldn't. George Penny keeps it in. Over to Scott Bishop. Bishop tried to get it out in front, and that's intercepted by Donnie Goss. Now Andy Sullivan makes his way up on the right wing. Offside on the call.
Breakers goal scored by number 28, Barry Sullivan. Assisted by number 22, Andy Sullivan. Time of the goal, 27 seconds.
Well, Ted, you had that right on. It was Andy Sullivan passing the puck out to Barry Sullivan, who made no mistake and put it right in the back of the net before the goaltender had a chance to move, Dave Kennedy. And it almost happened again at that time. The 2 Sullivans combined again and was offside.
Sullivan from Sullivan. Rob Penny taking the puck over his own blue line. Og Levine. Levine to this side, fan on his pass up to Corey Hemian. He moves it out. And number 11, Ubi Hollett, seen his first shift for the day. Hollett picked up a couple of elbows to the head last night and come up with a mild concussion. But he's dressed today and taking his first shift.
Robbie is still trying to get something going there. Rub number 11 out along the boards. They're still talking. Viola O'Driscoll and Robbie Penny.
Chris O'Keefe will take the draw against Captain Ubi Hollett. O'Keefe, there's a shot. Oh, and Dave Kennedy got his glove on that one, on the shot of Steve Scott. A wicked drive, and Kennedy right on the glove side, got that puck in the air and a shot all the way down the ice, and the Bombers will be called for icing.
That was a wicked shot from the point, and it went way up in the air, up over the goaltender, who had no idea where it was, and was lucky that the defenseman was there to battle it out when it came down. It was a wicked shot from the point.
Linesman flight, ready to drop the puck. Scott Sullivan, another premier Sullivan hockey player. He lost the draw. Back out to center. Donnie Goss shoots it right back in. And Rob Penny's watched there by Brent Sullivan. Shoots it out to center. Up to Sullivan. He failed to pick up that pass. And Robbie Penny over on the other side. Scott Sullivan. Back to Brent. Nifty shot. Oh, he scores! Brent Sullivan to Scott Sullivan. Jack, what a beautiful goal.
Picked the far corner, Ted. No chance for the goaltender. Number 8, Scott Sullivan, made no mistake when he took that pass from number 23, Brent Sullivan.
Jack, number 23, Brent Sullivan, back up in Southern Shore and in St. John's in the league. He's noted as a shifty stick handler, and the little things he can do with the puck, as we saw there. And of course, Scott Sullivan to the side of the net. He knew what Brent was going to do, and he just waited for that pass and banged it home. And the Southern Shore Breakers now up by a score of 6-0. And the Breakers come right back at him again. Corey Bond. Bond shoots it in the corner. Strickland shoot across to Billy Armstrong. Armstrong tries to get it up for Sutton, couldn't. And Steve Scott shot it back in. Strickland will try it again. There's a pass over to Wade Sutton on the other side. Sutton makes a nice move, gets it over the line. There's a shot! Oh, and Dennis Kennedy just saw that one at the last second.
Oh, he almost broke the goose egg that time, Ted. Sutton made a great shot there, but there was a better save made by Lake. And he didn't give no rebound. He covered up the rebound.
The fans are pretty quiet here now at the Badger Arena, as their team is down by 6 goals. And Sutton had a great chance, but Lake made a big save. Now Steve Scott. Scott up here on the side to Colbert. Colbert makes his way in front of the net. Barry Sullivan just failed to tuck it in. Sullivan. Back to Barry Sullivan. Watched it by Paul Pittman. Andy Sullivan. Andy across over here to Colbert. There's a shot. And Kennedy stirred that one to the corner. Barry Sullivan tried to freeze it on the board, does, and is blowing down with 16 minutes, 55 seconds left in game 2.
Ted, Southern Shore, I think, got this game quite in hand now at 6-0. All they had to do now was play out the clock and sit back and probably try to get the shutout for their goaltender Lake, who hasn't had many shots, but he had 13 in the first period, certainly, and made some great saves there.
There's a shot by Derek Sullivan. That was wide. Levine takes his man O'Driscoll into the boards, and once more to the right of Dave Kennedy will be another face-off.
And the referee, Ted, is not letting him to spend too much time in on the boards after that loose puck. He's blowing everything down before anything starts, I think.
On the draw, Junior Farrell shoots it in. O'Driscoll keeps it in behind the net. Derek Sullivan taken out by Robbie Penny.
Ted, we have 16:34. We've had probably 8 or 9 whistles so far in the first 3.5 minutes of this period. And Southern Shore has scored 2 goals out of this in this time.
Levine wins the draw. Kennedy holds it for momentarily, puts it off the ball. Levine and Sean Levine up the center. It's a stick save by Lake, not a hard shot. And Gauss tries to get it out. Gauss up the center. Rob Penny throws it back to his own blue line. Scotty Bishop, and a pass for Corey Power. There's a shot! He scores! Scotty Bishop, number 17, has finally put the Bombers on the board.
And that was created, Ted, by a turnover from number 11, Lyle O'Driscoll, trying to get that puck out. Put it right on number 7's stick, and he made no mistake. Or 17, I think it is. Number 17, yes, Scott Bishop.
Scotty Bishop. That goal coming at 3 minutes, 57 seconds, and the Bombers are on the scoreboard. UB Holland out for his second shift, wins the draw. Back to the other side, across to Corey Hemian. Hemian up to Hollett. Hollett shoots it down in Breaker's End. Scott takes Kenny Butt out along the back of the net. Back out in front, and here's the official announcement.
Unassisted. Time to go 2 minutes, 57 seconds.
That goal unassisted by Scotty Bishop. There's Bobby Sullivan. And a shot blocked by George Penny in front. Oh, and the puck slid right across the crease in front of Dave Kennedy. Now UB Holland. And we have some sticks up. George Penny and Darryl Costello again. Now Penny, Costello takes a shot at Penny.
Yeah, they got those big visors on, Ted. That shouldn't be allowed probably in this league. They're all strapped down. They're pretty safe. These are some of the junior players that they bought up, and they're allowed to do this. But they should not be. They got full face protection.
Well, UB Holland ready to let that go. Down the other end, that was behind the play. But George Penny and Darryl Costello, we'll see what the call is.
See, this is why last night's game that Scott Young got thrown out of the game with a match penalty because of those face masks that the junior players are using. They can't get them off. And he called them because he was trying to get the face mask off and give him a match penalty for it.
All the masks, they all come up from the junior. They all wear them in the junior hockey league, and I don't know, maybe they should. Well, we have
if you're going to play senior hockey, Ted, you should be made to use senior equipment as far as I'm concerned. There shouldn't be something for you to hide behind.
15-21. Stoppage of play occurred. Now we're ready to go again. That's Craig Talk. We'll line up as linesman Flight ready to drop the puck. Scott Sullivan. Flight wins the draw. Back to Paul Levine. In behind the net, Steve Scott. Scott watched by Craig Talk. Up the board to Brent Sullivan. Sullivan fires a wide pass. That was stopped there by Dennis Briffett. Levine. Up the Talk, up to Briffett. Briffett just shoots it in. And Darrell Walsh shoots it all the way back to the blue line. Penny. Toss to the other side. Dennis Briffett. Over to Penny.
George Penny, 2 minutes, 1 sportsmanship. Southern George Penny, number 32. Darryl Costello, 2 minutes for roughing. Time of the penalties, 4 minutes, 39 seconds.
4 minutes, 39 seconds, the time of the penalties. As Robbie Penny over to the other side to Briffett. Briffett in off the boards to Talk. That's broken up. And Briffett once again picks up a loose puck. And Steve Scott. Scott turns, brings it up the center, makes a nice move, gets a pass Sutton, and makes a change. Now Armstrong. Armstrong trying to get down. Barry Sullivan gets in front of him. Now it's out again to center. Now here come the breakers. Ron Strickland breaks that up. And number 5, Corey Bond, just shoots it back to center. Rod Penny picks it up. Now here's Sutton going in. Oh, and he was just taken to the side and failed to get the shot away. Sutton and Andy Sullivan mix it up a little bit. Number 16, Paul Pittman. And they'll freeze the puck on the board. Jack, 13:27 left, 6-1. Gives Badger a little momentum, and But it's a long way to go. 13 minutes left against the Southern Shore Breakers team.
Yes, Ted, they're down 6-1. As far as I'm concerned, this game is in the book for Southern Shore. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Badger hasn't scored any goals against Southern Shore. They got 2 here in the first game, 1 up in Southern Shore in the second game, 1 last night, and 1 tonight. So you're not going to win too many hockey games by scoring 4 goals. Or 5 goals in 4 games.
The Bombers will make a change. Sutton loses the draw. Johnny Goss over to the other side. There's Andy Sullivan. He's hit hard by Billy Armstrong at the Badger blue line. Now Pittman makes a move. Stopped by Bobby Sullivan. There's a shot and a pad save by Kennedy.
Said the Breakers are not going to sit back on this 6-1 lead. They want more. And every time there's a stoppage of play now with a couple of players around, they start milling around. But I think that referee Fred Oates had this game in hand, and they know they're not going to get very far with it, and he's going to call everything. He's called now a slashing penalty. And it looks like it's against Southern Shore. There are 4 players on the ice against 5 for the Bombers. Give Southern Shore, Ted, 4 marks for playing the way they have and only giving up those 5 goals with their defense and Lake back in the net.
All the Bombers on the power play. Ron Strickland sets up here on this side to Corey Power. Gypsy Dooley net centered down to Bishop. Throws it in the corner. They'll pile up behind the net. O'Keefe and Scotty Bishop along with Sean Levine. Puck comes loose but blowing down.
There's a lot of whistles now. When the puck goes in the corner now, there's a lot of whistles. That puck we could see clearly from here was still free. I guess the referee don't want to take any chances on anything exploding at this stage of the game now.
12:29 remaining in the game. From the face-off, back to George Penny. There's a shot and another big save by Dennis Lake.
Dennis Lake, Ted, has been there when he'd had to be there. He hasn't had many shots, like we said, over the games, but he's been steady when he's been getting the shots.
Corey Power once again back to George Penny. Penny failed to keep it in. Now he's back behind his own goal. Penny over to Scotty Bishop. To Ron Strickland. Deep in Breakers territory. Throws it behind the net to the other side. Junior Farrell, number 12, picks up the loose puck, can't get it out. George Penny across to the other side to Ron Strickland. Watched there closely by number 26, Chris O'Keefe. Now Scotty Bishop. Oh, across to the other side to Penny, and that was intercepted. And now here we go, Sean Levine. Number 12, Junior Farrell. They go at it. Levine and Farrell over now, but a glass. Linesman just keeping out, and the 2, I think, are reluctant now, Jack, just to have it broken up.
It's just a hugging match now, Ted. If we had a bit of music, we may get the dance that it is. Our music man didn't give up. There's no advantage to either one, so they might as well give in. And they're escorting them off the ice. They're going to, Corton, as they go at this now, they're going to put them off the ice.
That's right. Junior Farrell and Sean Levine. Both been escorted. They're gone for the remaining of this game. And the way referee Oates sees this now, Jack, as you said, any pile-ups or whatever happens now, he's going to be sending them to the dressing room.
I don't think there's really the way that a referee should call a game. They didn't do anything on it any more than just put their arms around one another. And all of a sudden they're gone for the last 11 minutes and 41 seconds.
5 minutes of fighting and a game misconduct.
No punches thrown.
Southern Shore number 12, Junior Foul. 5 minutes of fighting and a game misconduct.
And there was no punches thrown whatsoever. They just had their arms around one another, and when they got to the boards, they were satisfied to quit.
19 seconds.
And they get thrown out of the game.
Captain Ubi Hollett wins another draw. There's a shot. That's off the boards, and Lake will hold on to that one. Off the stick of Robbie Penny. None of the fans leaving the arena as yet, Jack.
Oh, Ted, they stayed last night too. This is the last game of the year here at the Badger Arena, so I guess they're going to get their money's worth and watch the third period. They watched all the game last night, and give them credit. They were down 8-1, but they stayed and finished the game. Now we have another pile-up, Ted, down behind the net. Can't see from here who was into it, but I'm sure those players will be gone too.
Well, we can't see who the players are, Jack.
No, the referee is keeping some of the players back. And the two defensemen...
Oh, Captain Ubi Hollett.
Oh, the Ubi Hollett was into it, yes. The two defensemen stayed back.
Captain Ubi Hollett, and we'll see who gets up from the Southern Shore Breakers.
We can't see who else was into it. It is right directly behind the net at the far end from our vantage point.
Well, Jack, there's still a Bomber player and a Southern Shore player still on the ice.
Well, there's 5-on-4 advantage for the Bombers, I believe, at the time, Ted, anyway, so they were outnumbered. I see 4 white sweaters now and just the 2 red. No number on this.
Well, it looks like Darrell Waltz. Well, we'll see. Ubi Hollett, number 11.
Corey Hemian is the player we were looking for.
And Chris O'Keefe and Hollett now having words. Corey Hemian was in that pile up down behind the net.
And he's sending them right now to the penalty box. Whether he'll send them off or not, we'll have to wait and see. No, he's sending them to the penalty box, and I think that was a bigger altercation than the one before.
Yes. Well, referee Oates will sort this out. Kenny Butt picking up all the gear. That's not a position you usually see Kenny Butt in.
No, he's being the good Samaritan right now. But knowing Oates, he won't be long. There he backs away from the box. And he's calling the face-off outside the blue line, Ted.
Well, we'll...
Almost an indication that Badger will get more penalties than Southern Shore when you call the face-off outside the blue line from an altercation inside.
All the Bombers just got 3 players on the ice. We'll see they're making a change now. We'll await the official announcement. It's 11 minutes and 28 seconds left in this game, Game 2. The All-Newfoundland Herta Memorial Championships between the Bombers and the Southern Shore Breakers.
I would say that Hollett and Hemian are gone.
Well, they probably picked up misconduct. We'll wait and see. Oates blows his whistle.
Bomber penalty number 12, Corey Hemian, and number 11, Ruben Hollett. 4 minutes for roughing. Southern Shore number 6, Scotty Goss, number 26, Chris O'Keefe. 4 minutes each for roughing. Time of the penalty, 8 minutes, 32 seconds.
Well, off-sitting penalties, Ted, and Badger will still be 5-on-4. And now Billy Armstrong came on the ice, but the referee sends him back to the box again. He has a few words as he passes by the Southern Shore box there.
Off the face-off, Briffett. Back over to Levine. That's intercepted in front. And Scott Sullivan shoots it all the way down in Badger end. Levine. Well, Badger's on the power play, Jack. Here we go again. Billy Armstrong and Scott Sullivan. And Corey Bond gets in there on that one. There's Billy Armstrong. And Scott Sullivan was the initial player that Billy Armstrong went after, and then Corey Bond steps in and Armstrong went after Bond. Corey Bond, number 5.
Yes, Ted, the initial was Armstrong. Armstrong was into it with
Scotty Sullivan
initially, and then Bond came in, so... But I think Billy Armstrong went out for that reason, Ted, because he went out previous to that and he sent him back off the ice, and I think that was the only reason he went out there was to...
well, the minute the puck was dropped,
Sullivan.
The minute the puck was dropped, Billy was out, and Jack, this is going to heat up the series back in the Southern Shore.
Yeah, maybe this will get the fans back to Southern Shore again. We still have 10:41, and well, it looks like all the fans are still here.
Well, I guess the fans know what they can expect in this type of game. And referee Oates got this sorted out.
Well, I don't know if he's going to be giving Southern Shore an extra penalty because Billy Armstrong was into it with 2 Southern Shore players, which automatic Bond should have been thrown out of the game anyway, automatic for third man in.
Well, that's why I'd say, Jack, that's why Corey Bond is gone, for being the third man in.
So Billy Armstrong was also gone, so... If these are called right, the Bombers should end up with a man advantage out of this.
10 minutes, 41 seconds left.
But they're not. They have 5
There's nobody leaving.
They end up with a man advantage, Ted.
And the Southern Shore Breakers go on the power play. Tuck wins the draw. Back to Levine. Up to Brett Sullivan, across to the other side to Billy Windsor. Windsor. Out to Sullivan. Back to Scott. Scott. Over to Brent Sullivan. Sullivan. Over to Scott Sullivan. Out. And he takes it outside as Gushy takes Sullivan into the boards. Now shot right back in, and Gushy. There's a shot. Oh, Billy Windsor fanned on that one. And the Bombers kill off this power play. And they shoot it all the way down the ice. The Breakers set up behind their own net. Up to 27, Shannon Colbert. Over to Scott. Scott's pass is intercepted.
Number 8, Billy Armstrong. 2 minutes for instigation, 5 minutes for fighting, and a game misconduct. Number 5, Southern Shore, Corey Bond. 5 minutes for fighting and a game misconduct. Time of the penalties, 9 minutes, 19 seconds.
There you have it, Ted.
5 minutes for fighting, the game misconduct.
2 minutes for instigating, which I think he did.
Yeah, so Bond and Armstrong gone. There's a shot by Strickland. Around the side, Scotty Bishop. Bishop. Out of Breakers, come up with the loose puck. John O'Driscoll. Over to the other side to Barry Sullivan. And the Bombers shoot it out. Darrell Walsh failed to keep it in with 9 minutes
I think it was a hand.
26
That's why it
seconds.
blow down.
It was gloved ahead, Jack.
Pretty quiet in the stadium right now. Even no music.
Well, from the face-off is back here to number 2, Darrell Walsh. Walsh back over on the other side, back here. George Penny, that's a shot goal. That just missed Corey Power. Now Scott Sullivan. No, Scott in over the blue line, across over here to Shannon Colbert, and that was intercepted by Paul Pittman. Up to the other side, Strickland. Strickland over to George Penny. George Penny just shoots it all the way down the ice as they kill off the penalty. Dennis Lake leaves it for Steve Scott. Scott fanned on that pass. There's Wade Sutton. Oh, there's a shot! And another big save. There's another shot by Sutton, and Dennis Lake comes up big once again. Puck is back in the Badger end. And Paul Levine. Levine over to Rob Penny. Rob Penny just shoots it off the board out to center. Kenny Butt picked up the loose puck, loses that, and the Breakers shoot it back in. Bobby Penny and Derek Sullivan.
We have 8:16 left in period number 3, Ted. It's 6-1 for the Breakers. The game well in hand with 8 minutes left. And I think they're just satisfied now to shoot the puck in. And
well, the Breakers just satisfied to do that, Jack. They're up 6-1. So they'll just be content now with shooting the puck in and just let the Bombers come to them, right? Behind the net now, number 32, Darryl Costello. Off the boards, out to center. Kennedy. And the Breakers will be called for icing if they shoot the puck all the way down Badger territory.
Yeah, they're not going to take no chances now, Ted. Like I said earlier, they're just going to shoot it in at every opportunity and just lay back, and if they get a chance to come in with 2-on-1 or whatever, they'll do it.
Seven minutes, 59 seconds. Rob Penny, that's a shot goal. That's stopped in front, and Derek Sullivan gets it out to center. Levine, off the Tuck. Tuck deflects the shot off to Gushy. Gushy in the corner, trying to get it in front. There's a shot, and another big save by Dennis Lake. And the Breakers come back. Up the center ice, Robbie Penny watches his man, Derek Sullivan, as he goes in behind the net. Cross to the other side, Levine, up to Gushy. Griffith failed to pick up his pass, and Barry Sullivan shoots it right back out. Now Windsor over to Scott Sullivan. That's lifted high in the air, comes down on the glass. Brent Sullivan picks up the pass. Now George Penny over behind his own net. Oh, Penny loses the puck there. There's a shot by Scott Sullivan, as Penny's pass was intercepted, Jack, right in front.
Oh, he got taken out of the play, Ted, all by himself, and it was 2-on-nobody, really. And what a big save. What a big save made by
Dave Kennedy.
Dave Kennedy there in the Badger net.
Scott Sullivan all alone in front. On the face-off, Corey Power wins the draw. Oh, George Penny takes Billy Windsor in, and Scott Sullivan. Now back out to Strickland. Strickland over the Breakers blue line. Gets it over here to Paul Pittman. That pass was stopped. And now Brent Sullivan. Brent Sullivan, a nifty stick handler. There's a shot. Oh, and Kennedy just saw that at the last split second. Now Bishop. Gets it over the blue line. And Windsor. Makes it back for the Breakers. There's a pass intercepted by Sutton and Steve Scott. Scott up on the left wing, brings it out to center. Robbie Penny Over here, watched there by Brent Sullivan, and ends up behind his own net. Now Captain UB Hollett. Hollett up to Wade Sutton. And now Hollett and number 32, Darrell Costello. Hollett wrapped his arm around Costello's head, so we'll see. We'll see if he's going to get a penalty. Yes, he is.
Absolutely no need of a penalty like that.
6 minutes left in the game. Captain UB Hollett picks up a penalty. 2 minutes for roughing as they line up outside the Badger blue line.
On the penalty, number 11, UB Hollett. 2 minutes for roughing. Time of the penalty, 14 minutes.
Roughing is the call on UB Hollett. Puck's at the center. Chris O'Keefe. Barry Sullivan lets go a shot. And the rebound comes right out to number 34, John O'Driscoll. And O'Driscoll tries to get it out in front. Gushy just gets it out over his own line. And number 2, Darrell Walsh. Over to number 27, Shannon Colbert. Colbert, a pass. And John O'Driscoll was pushed offside by the Bombers.
That was suicide pass, Ted, to 34.
John O'Driscoll, he had to look behind for the puck. And he just missed a hard check, but enough to put him offside at the Badger blue line.
5.5 minutes left in this one, Ted. 6-1 for the Breakers. And all the crowd are all still here.
On the draw, Rod Penny shoots it out, and Steve Scott. Scott picks it up around to the other side. Once again, Penny just content to shoot it out the center, and the Bombers just want to get rid of it as they don't set up a play in their own end. I'll tell you, that puck, that's why you keep your eye on the puck all the time. You either get that or you get one in your mouth. Jack, that puck was just about 8 inches from Kirk Fleming. I'd say Kirk Fleming would have had that. He's a great ball player, I tell you, as well as a hockey player.
I probably would have had it if I had a glove.
That's what he said. Fleming, excellent ball player. Now from the face-off, number 17, Derek Sullivan, all the way down the ice.
Over there, too.
Puck's back up the center. Up here to number 11, O'Driscoll makes a nice move to get around the Bombers defenseman. Back to the defense for Scott. Oh, nice move. There's Scott. Oh, and that was just wide. Steve Scott made a nifty move to get around the defenseman and just shot it wide. Now there's a big shot by O'Keefe, and Kennedy comes up big once again. Out Scotty Bishop shoots it out. That hit Corey Powers. You remember, Jack, a couple of minutes ago, Corey Powers just missed a hard slap shot from George Penny.
He didn't miss it that time, then, Ted.
Oh, Rob Penny shoots it all the way down. Donnie Goss picks it up. Leaves it for Scott Sullivan. Sullivan throws it in. Levine just off the board to line the glass. Scott Sullivan into Bobby Sullivan. Bobby Sullivan. There's a shot by Darrell Walsh. And Kennedy knocks that one down.
That was just offside, Ted. That puck went out over the line by just the width of the puck. But Kennedy had that covered anyway, so it didn't make any difference. It was offside. 3:52 left in this one. And Southern Shore will be heading back with a 2-0 lead. No doubt about it.
3 minutes, 52 seconds. Levine. Loose puck picked up by Rod Penny. He's in over center. Throws it in behind Dennis Lake to the other side. Hollett now out of the penalty box. And the puck now, Jack, just been shot back and forth, and both teams just content to get rid of it. You'll be Hollett. Hollett makes a nice move down over center ice. In over the blue line, throws it out to Sutton. There's a shot! Oh, and a big pad save by Dennis Lake. Newby Holland making a great save there, a great skate down the ice, Jack, set up Wade Sutton.
Yes, Ted, and when they get by the defense and get in for a good shot, Dennis Lake has made everything except one. And that the one that was scored was on a rebound that he had no chance on.
Three minutes, 21 seconds. On the face-off, Juan Strickland shoots it in behind Dennis Lake, back out to the blue line. Strickland once again out to Gushy. There's a shot, and that was just wide. Cross to the other side. Darrell Welch up the center, and Barry Sullivan just shoots it in. George Penny up to Craig Tuck over the Breakers blue line, can't get around Steve Scott. Gushy picks up the loose puck. 2 minutes 45 seconds left in this game, and it looks like Badger will be traveling next week down 2 going into Southern Shore. Al Scott just content to shoot it off, kill time, just get it out to center. Strickland over to George Penny. Back to the other side. That was intercepted by Barry Sullivan. And Strickland once again. And watch there by the Breakers. Number 17, Bishop, just lifts it in the air. Back up, number 66, Rod Penny. There's a shot. And Dennis Lake had no trouble with that one. A shot right from center ice. Exactly 2 minutes left, Jack.
Yeah, there's 2 minutes exactly left on the clock. And the fans are still here. Nobody has left this rink, Ted. Even with 2 minutes left in the game, they're still all standing around.
Well, Jack, a good time to remind my sister-in-law about the onion pudding she's supposed to put on for supper. I was supposed to remind her. So it's a good time to put it on now, Mark. As they line up for the face-off, Sutton wins the draw, in over the Breakers blue line. Over in the corner, Darrell Welch up the center, and that's stopped by Pippin. There's a shot by Sutton, and that flew over the top of the net. Out of Breakers, a rink-wide pass, cross here to O'Driscoll. Tried to get it over to Derek Sullivan. He failed to pick it up, and O'Driscoll once again at center. 1 minute, 30 seconds. Derek Sullivan tried to get it out in front. Kennedy, now Rob Penny. Penny pushes his man in on the boards, and the puck is out to center. 1 minute, 20 seconds. Sutton gets it across to Ubi Hollett. Hollett picks it up in the corner, throws it out front, and everybody just batting at the puck, Dak, and is whistled down with 1 minute, 9 seconds left in game 2, and the Breakers lead by a score of 6-1.
Ted, game 3 of this series takes place next Friday night in Southern Shore, along with games 4 and 5 if necessary. Badger got a monumental task now of trying to get back into this series, losing their 2 games at home by almost identical scores. 8-1 last night, 6-1 tonight. You're not going to win too many games by scoring 2 goals in 2 games.
And Jack, we're getting near the end of the game. We want to thank our cameraman, Wayne Chafe, along with his technicians, Micky Murray and Terry Patey, who helped Wayne set up all the audio cables when he came in 2 days ago. And once again, our thanks to Wayne Chafe for bringing this game out over the community channel. I don't have to say who Wayne Chafe is. All the fans in Badger know him. But thanks once again to Micky Murray and Terry Patey and everybody who helped in the production of this telecast. 50 seconds left. Rob Penny up to Gushy, and the Breaker fans singing so long as they head back to Southern Shore next week, down 2 games to nothing. Now here's Brent Sullivan. Brent Sullivan trying to get in there. Robbie Penny takes Sullivan in hard, and the two of them just joust each other, and nothing out of that one. And 26 seconds left, Jack.
Yes, Robbie Penny is still looking, Ted, but Brent Sullivan, if the shoe was on the other foot, they wouldn't have nothing to do with that either. They just wave it off, and we'll see you Friday in Mobile. not going to solve anything at this stage of the game.
All the Breakers fans still into this one with 26 seconds left. And the Badger fans a little disheartened.
2 minutes for hooking at 19:34.
And Jack birthday greetings had to go out today to Stephanie Green and Grace Bennett. Well, here's the play, 19 seconds left. Now O'Driscoll just content to shoot it in and stay back at center ice. Here's Sutton. Sutton knocked down at center. There's Paul Pittman. Pittman. 5, 4, 3, and the game is over. And the Southern Shore Breakers, Jack, won convincingly, 8-1 here last night and 6-1 today.
Yes, Ted, there's no doubting who the better team was in this series so far. They came out to play. I don't know if Badger can play with them or if they can't. They certainly haven't shown it in the first 2 games that I've seen here.
Well, no doubt, Jack, the Southern Shore Breakers just a great, fast skating hockey team. And they showed our fans here this weekend just what they're capable of doing. And now the Bombers have to go back next week, down 2 games, and the Breaker fans are pretty loud, Jack, as their team leaves the ice now and heads to the dressing room.
It's full marks to Southern Shore. They came out here to play, and they definitely played, and they were well disciplined when Badger tried to get something going. They just turned the other cheek, so to speak, and said, okay, we came here to play hockey, and that's what we're going to do.
So the final score from the Badger Stadium, the Southern Shore Breakers 6, the Badger Bombers 1, and they'll head back to Mobile next weekend. I'm Ted Patey, and on behalf of Jack Stuckless, our color commentary man, we bid you all good day from the Badger Stadium.